What's up, everybody? It's Corzetta Renee, and we're back for another Think Tank Thursday. So I'm just gonna jump right in. Today's topic is what you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And I know a lot of times we've used that phrase like, bust a move, do something. What you waiting for? It's time to do something new. And it is. It really is. But I want to challenge you today. So a very popular scripture is the scripture that says to lay aside every weight and every sin that so easily besets you. And so I think a lot of times we already know what sins are. So we're like, okay, yeah, I shouldn't commit fornication. I shouldn't commit adultery. I shouldn't lie. I shouldn't steal. I shouldn't cheat. I shouldn't do all of these things that I know are directly stated. But I really think that we struggle a lot of times with the weights. We struggle with the weights because we're so used to carrying stuff sometimes that we don't even realize that they are weights. We don't even realize that they are holding us back. We stay in relationships or friendships or we just have situations in our lives. Mindset is a huge one. We stay in that thing for so long that it becomes a part of us and we don't even realize that it's held us back for so long. We don't even realize that it's become a weight. And so what you have to remember is that there are good weights and there are bad weights. But good weights build your character. Bad weights will build your crutch. And they will become your excuse. They will become what weighs you down and stops you from going where you are supposed to go. Because sometimes you just can't travel with all of that. If you try to go to the airport right now and you have a bag that is too heavy, you either gonna pay more or you're gonna have to decide that something has to stay behind. And if it could stay behind because it's too heavy now and it's gonna cost you more, then it could have stayed behind in the first place, but you just didn't recognize it because you're so used to thinking that you need something that you don't. And so a couple years back, I broke my foot. And while I was on crutches, I noticed that it was a whole lot harder to move. But the crutch didn't do anything to adjust my break in my foot. It was just what helped me move from one point to another, albeit very difficultly. But when they gave me the boot instead of the crutch, I noticed that my foot started to realign, and the more I listened to the doctor, the more things would get better. The better my foot would get. The easier it was to start walking again. The easier it was to start moving again at a much faster pace. So now I didn't have to have somebody drive me everywhere. I could drive myself. I didn't have to have somebody help me get from one point to another. I could take myself there. I didn't have to decide, oh, I can't wear my heels today. I could wear what I wanted to wear because instead of relying on the crutch but never addressing the break in the first place, I was able to move a whole lot quicker and I was able to heal a whole lot quicker. And so in this season of acceleration, if you're going to excel or accelerate, might I suggest to you that the weight that you carry is going to be directly linked to the weight that you have to get you to where you are supposed to be. So the weight will determine your weight. That is how you wait. How are you thinking when you're waiting? What are you doing while you're waiting? Are you blaming everybody else while you're waiting? Are you looking at everybody else as the issue while you're waiting instead of looking at yourself? Because maybe this entire time your mind has been the weight. Maybe this entire time you have been the weight and you've been looking at everything else and all the other issues when the weight was right there. And so your weight has been held up because of you being a weight to yourself. So if we are going to grow places in this next season of our lives, you have got to allow God to break you from what broke you. If you can believe in a generational curse, then by God, you had better believe in a generational blessing. If you serve God and know him for real, if he can change you, then what is it for him to change mindsets and lifestyles? What is that to him? It is nothing. So the way that you wait will be determined by the weight that you carry. Remember that I love you. You are amazing. What are you waiting for? Let it go so you can grow, because we're growing places.